University of Connecticut is known for many things. They're the 20th best-ranked public university in the country. They have great academics and many great research departments. However, what is most commonly associated with UConn is basketball. Both the men's and women's teams have had tremendous success in recent years, but it was the men who brought home the national championship in the 2010-2011 season, led by Kemba Walker and under the guidance of head coach Jim Calhoun. However, success is not new for the UConn men's basketball program, with national championships in the 1999 and 2004 seasons. And with winning those 3 national championships, it helped solidify the University of Connecticut as one of the top Division I men's basketball programs within the past 15 years. And all this started in the 1998-1999 season, which the Huskies beat out Duke 77-74 in the NCAA championship game and went on with a 34-2 record on the season, led by Richard Hamilton, who ended up being drafted that same year 7th overall by the Washington Wizards. The next big season for the UConn Huskies was the 2003-2004 season, in which UConn won their 6th Big East tournament and their 2nd national championship. They had to play a tough Georgia Tech team, but they won 82-73 and completed the season 33-6, a season led by Emeka Okafor and Ben Gordon. Both Okafor and Gordon were drafted in the NBA draft, Okafor 2nd overall and Ben Gordon 3rd overall. For the 2010-2011 season, fans were just looking to rebound from the awful season they had last year. The team was led by junior guard Kemba Walker, and even though the fans had high hopes, the critics and experts didn't, as UConn was projected to finish 10th overall in the Big East Conference. However, they started their season off with a tournament in Hawaii, the Maui Invitational, which also included 2 ranked teams, the 2nd-ranked Michigan State Spartans and the 8th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats. However, UConn went through the tournament and came out victorious, beating both teams and catapulting their way into the national rankings. As UConn kept winning, they kept working their way up to the polls until they were ranked 4th in the nation. However, when they took on Pitt, who at the time was ranked 6th in the nation, they lost, sending themselves down the polls. As the season went on, UConn played good enough basketball to end up being ranked 21st in the country. Going into the Big East tournament, UConn had no bye, meaning if they wanted to win, they needed to win 5 games in a row. In the first game, it was UConn and Kemba against DePaul, and UConn handled them, winning 97-71. The next challenge was a tough 22nd ranked Georgetown team. Again, it was all Huskies as they won 79-62, highlighted by Kemba Walker's 28 points. The next game was going to be a tough rematch against Pittsburgh, who had beat them earlier in the season, but it was Kemba Walker hitting the game-winning shot as time expired.
10 seconds to go. Coombs McDaniel on the screen. Walker with 7.
Got a mismatch.
Walker on McGee with 4. Kemba Walker. Step back. Walker. Cardiac Kemba does it again. UConn wins at the buzzer.
In a 76-74 UConn win. Although it was a great shot, the tournament wasn't over as they had to face arch rival 11th ranked Syracuse. The game went into overtime, but it had UConn coming out on top 76-71, sending them to the Big East Championship. When they were there, Louisville was no problem as the Huskies won 69-66, claiming their 7th Big East title, and Kemba Walker was named tournament MVP. Next, for the now 9th ranked Huskies, was the NCAA tournament. The Huskies had high hopes going into the tournament, in which they missed last year, although their side of the bracket looked to be pretty tough. However, they started out against a weak Bucknell team and cruised by them 81-52. Next on tap was Big East rival Cincinnati, which was no problem for the Huskies as they won 69-58. The next opponent for the streaking Huskies was San Diego State University. The Aztecs gave the Huskies a good game, but in the end it was UConn pulling away with and becoming victorious 74-67, putting them in the Elite Eight. UConn's first game was against a very good Arizona team. The Huskies, again with their postseason magic, squeaked out a 65-63 win and put them against Kentucky, a team they beat at Maui in the Final Four. Kentucky had gotten much better, and it was a good game as expected. But at the end of the game, it was again the Huskies on top, 54-52, sending them to the NCAA championship game, where they were set to take on last year's runner-up Butler. It was a tough-fought game with very little scoring, and in the end, it was UConn coming out on top, victorious, winning their 3rd national championship as they topped the Butler Bulldogs 53-41. It was the end to the most improbable season. Kemba Walker ended up foregoing his senior year and got drafted 9th overall by the Charlotte Bobcats. UConn is once again the top place for Division I basketball, and the men look to repeat this year and show that they are back and better than ever.
Well, I was at Gamble Pavilion.
And the crowd was full of energy.
Crowds of people everywhere, and there was just so much space.
There was throwing, dancing, yelling.
Really brought this campus together.
I felt like breaking things. I feel like a lot of us did.
It was a great experience, and I'm glad I was part of it.
Let's go. Party rock is in the house.